I've been writing for 10 years or so, and I've been writing mainly television, so the structure of film is obviously very different to the structure of a TV show. And I knew I wanted to write a romantic comedy, and a friend of mine gave me a copy of this book called Writing the Romantic Comedy by a man called Billy Mernit. He came up with a great 7-beat structure that all romantic comedies actually adhere to. The best ones you don't notice that it's the actual, the beat. And the worst ones you're like, okay, I can see that coming a mile off. So what they are, the chemical equation, the things that your leading man and woman are missing from their lives or that they are having to learn. So for example, in Tootsie, he is his own worst enemy. So we see him in the opening sequence that he is being this great, fantastic actor, but he won't take direction.
You want me to stand up and walk to the center of the stage while I'm dying?
And actually, he is the problem. And the great overarching arc of Tootsie is that he learns to be a better man by being a woman.
You taught me to stop hiding and just be myself because you're always yourself.
So essentially, you see him in the beginning of that film and you can establish his character in the first, I'd say, 2-3 minutes of that film. And the best films do that brilliantly. So that's your chemical equation. Essentially, when Harry Met Sally, when they get in the car together and they're having that conversation.
I have a number of men friends and there is no sex involved.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You only think you do.
You can see that each of them are very one equation, far away from each other. Then you've got your cute meet, which is the second beat. And that's how your two leading ladies and men meet. So in Man Up, it's under the clock at Waterloo Station, where he thinks that she's her blind date.
Let's just go in. Oh, too soon for that. Nope. Hello there.
And in Moonstruck, it's when Cher goes to visit Nicolas Cage to tell him that she's getting married to his brother.
You come for my brother Johnny?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, we're gonna get married.
In Tootsie, it's when he walks in and sees Jessica Lange on the set of the soap that they're filming. If you asked a couple how they met, it'd be you want to hear an interesting story, don't you? So you don't want to hear, we met at work. You want to hear, we met under the clock at Waterloo Station. I thought she was my blind date. Then your third one is your sexy complication turning point, which is the moment that your film could end. They could go either way. They could just go, do you know what, I'm not going to take that job with you, even though I fancy you, I'm just going to leave the film, or, So it's actually when Harry Met Sally, it's when they meet again in the bookshop and they decide to be friends.
Hi, Harry.
I thought it was you.
It is.
So at that point onwards, we know, they're going to stay together in this film, as a friendship. Because what they could do is they could meet at the bookshop and then they could just go their separate ways. But because they like each other, they decide to be friends. In Man Up, it's actually when she reveals that she's actually not his date.
The truth is, I'm not really your blind date, Jack.
So you're saying you're not the girl that I was supposed to meet earlier?
No.
What?
I know. Sounds a bit mad.
Then you've got the midpoint, which is the hook, which is your middle of Act 2, which is your moment that sends the story in an opposite direction. Can be a physical plot-driven thing, or it can be a very metaphorical thing. In Man Up, it's when they bump into our leading man's ex-wife in a nightclub, and she's with the man that he left her for.
I am a firewoman. You firewoman.
There was a fire.
At his work party.
Yeah.
And then in our pants.
In When Harry Met Sally, it's more of a metaphorical midpoint because it's actually when she does her fake orgasm scene. And that's a midpoint because it's the first time that Harry sees her as a kind of sexual person. Up until then, they've just been friends. So it's sort of a metaphorical story turning point. Then you've got your swivel second act turning point, which is your end of Act 2. Which is essentially the moment where someone makes the wrong thing, does the wrong thing. Either sends that person away, says, I don't love you anymore, either takes a job miles away because they don't want to do it. And When Harry Met Sally, it's when he wakes up the next morning and he slept with her and then he totally legs it because he freaks out because he's realised that he slept with his best friend, as in the woman he is going to fall in love with.
Fine, I'll call you later.
Fine.
In Man Up, it's under the clock when they fail to man up and they fail to say to each other, like, let's carry on seeing each other, and they go their separate ways.
Well, look after yourself and...
That's what I do best.
Okay, and bye.
So both of them make the wrong decision actually in Man Up, which was something I thought long and hard about because I didn't necessarily just want it to be the man or the man's fault or the woman's fault. Then you plummet down to your dark crisis climax where all is lost and everyone is upset and crying and it's a nightmare and no one knows what to do and you never think you're going to find love again. And then someone realises that they are an idiot, or they realise that they can save the day. They take us all the way up to our joyful resolution, which is the moment when your two people, they don't necessarily have to get together in Annie Hall, they don't actually get together, but it's still joyful because you realise that they have this, you know, they've learnt something from their journey. Or it's the big full-on kiss in the rain in 4 weddings and the funeral. Or in When Harry Met Sally, it's the big great speech at the New Year's Eve party.
I came here tonight because when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
So those are your 7 beats. That took quite a while, didn't it? Sorry.